well, box of injector boxes, and then here's a box of injector boxes with injectors in it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We're headed over to my buddy Tyler's house this morning. He's got himself an 06 Mega Cab, and well, it's seen better days. It's been sitting for a long time, so it's a full-blown sleeper truck. When I say sleeper, it's because it's sleeping. It's not hiding anything special. It's dead, but it's just been parked for a long time, and he bought himself a Subaru. Kind of a weird turn of events to get himself a Subaru, but whatever. That's his own choice. So we're gonna go over his truck, and I'll show you his 12 valve. He's got a 97 12 valve that we did a 5-speed swap on it, and I'll show you guys that stuff. So let me get turned around, and then we'll go and talk about his truck. All right, you ready to talk about this piece of shit? Alright, so this is how bad it's been. He has stolen the windshield wipers off the truck and put them on his 12 valve. Look at this guy. Alright, go over there and pop the hood, I guess. And we'll just look at the... oh, hood's already cracked. That's a good sign when those valve cover bolts aren't tightened down. Or batteries in it. There's part of an exhaust underneath it, so I guess that's a start. Alright, I gotta think so. Box of injector boxes, and then here's a box of injector boxes with injectors in it. I guess I'll just go ahead and tell the whole story of the truck real quick.
Well, not gonna sell now.
Dude, this truck is for sale. Take it as is. Okay, so my buddy Tyler here, I don't know if you guys met him before, but that's him. He goes to the gym. He doesn't work out. I talked him into getting a Mega Cab a couple years ago, and we went to look at one, and it was terrible. So he bailed on that one. But on the way home, I found him another one, and this is it. It is a one-owner truck. It had 220,000 miles on it. Bone stock, big old thick sheet of, or big old booklet full of stuff done to the truck. We call that service reports and stuff. Yeah. And the guy said it had new injectors in it when he bought the truck, so he drove it around might have got a year,
like 6 months.
6 months. Drove it around for 6 months. Driving up the highway, died. You get towed by a Ford?
I hope not.
Was it a Ford?
No, the Hemi.
Oh, you got towed by a Hemi. So he brought it back to my house, and it just cranked and cranked and cranked. Good fuel pressure from the lift pump, and everything checked out except for the fuel rail was not building up pressure. So we came up with this idea. They make yeah? Yeah. Well, this affordable don't start, but
well, I don't care if it doesn't start.
yeah. God dang, Jimmy.
Might have to edit that out.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got this little nut that goes on to pull your injector cross tubes out, and it had a little breather tube on it, and I just welded that shut, and that screws right onto your fuel rail. And we went, or he did, I made him do all the work to it because it's his truck. So he took that cap and he put it on the fuel rail, one injector at a time, to see which injector or injectors was not allowing pressure to build up. And number 6 was stuck wide open. So he got a new set of injectors, put them in, truck started, ran fine.
6 months later.
6 months later, 6 months increments, he keeps having failures. 6 more months of life out of this truck with another set of injectors, and it started, they had a check engine light, and he was still driving it, but he drove it back to the house. It sounded a little funny, ran some code reader on it, and it was just some fuel related stuff, so we figured it might be a sensor. So we changed out all the sensors, and it got worse and worse and worse until it had like a really bad knock to it. And we checked the fuel rail pressure, and it was spiked at like 26, what was that?
26,000
Yeah, 26,000
PSI at idle.
Yeah, at idle. So 26,000 PSI at idle on the fuel rail. So we thought, oh gosh, we got something going weird. Again, we swapped all of the sensors back to the original ones, back and forth with several other different ones. Nothing fixed it. And since then, he has put another set of warranted injectors in it, and he talked his way into getting some upgraded injectors, because we were still thinking injectors were causing it. I don't know how.
We're on set number 4.
Set number 4 of injectors on this thing, and it's still running terrible.
That I've gotten from someone.
Yeah.
So 5 injectors total.
Yeah, 4 injectors for him, 5 or more, or maybe 4. Maybe the guy didn't even change them before.
Yeah, probably not.
So since then, he's cracked open all of the wire looms, checking for cracks or whatever you have it in the insulation on the wire. No issues with any of the plug-ins. We changed the computer, the CP3. The lift pump pressure is absolutely fine at 8 psi. So what else has been changed on this thing? We changed the diesel in the tank. No.
I don't think we've done that yet. Might need to empty and try that out.
He's probably got gasoline or kerosene or something in this thing mixed with some bar oil. Windshield washer fluid or whatever he tried.
Oh wait.
What else has changed?
I think that's it, really. I mean, that's everything.
Yeah. We even took the return line off of the back of the block, and that was the only thing that we saw make a difference. But again, it still was not running perfect. The idle sounded better, but it sounded like crap still. And the banjo bolt, go ahead and talk about it.
This is banjo bolts are usually pretty hollow, but this is the only one that's got a valve, and it's the one that goes on the back. So I thought maybe that could have been like stuck open or closed or something going on. And as soon as we took it off, the RPMs, I mean not RPMs, the PSI dropped down significantly, but still pretty high.
On the rail?
On the rail.
What'd they drop to?
They dropped down to 14,000. And then we shut it off and tried it again, and it dropped down to 10,000.
And if you didn't know, idle PSI pressure on the fuel rail is supposed to be like 7. It's supposed to be about 7,000 PSI. So this is absolutely extreme. And there is what's setting the earlier pressure at 26,000 PSI is there's a pressure relief valve, a mechanical valve on the rail that will let the pressure go shall it exceed that. So it's doing its job because it's not allowing any more than 26,000, but something else is just bumping it up. And again, all sensors, CP3, injectors, everything has been changed. The truck still runs like crap, and it didn't even start the last time.
Even the wiring harness for the injectors we changed too. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's I put the one off my 6.7 on here, the injector wiring harness that goes underneath the valve cover. Swapped that out thinking there might have been a short in his. Still nothing. So I'm asking you guys if you've ever had this issue, and if you did, how did you fix it? Because, well, he's got a car that actually runs now, so he doesn't really care about this truck, and it's just sitting here collecting dust from the road.
Hey.
So he would like to get it running and sell it, and I'm stumped. I don't know. We threw every part we could think of at it.
You know what's sad is this truck's running right now.
Oh, and then there's a Ford coming down the road, a 1962. No, it's not 60. 19.
Bullshit.
Whatever. I don't know years of Fords for shit. It's a Ford and it's running and he's pissed. But anyway, it's getting 8 PSI to the CP3 from the lift pump, so that is not an issue. It's getting plenty of fuel. And it's, I don't know, it's a pretty nice truck. Again, it's 2006 Mega Cab. It's just an SLT. It's not a Laramie like some of these standards. But I mean, it's an automatic. It's got a seatbelt thing over there. It's got flames on it, so you probably got that off of a Ford.
That came with the truck. I just haven't bothered to take them off.
I mean, the truck is only towed a boat.
You know what? If you do buy the truck, I will give you this monster keychain, right? Comes on the key.
Whew. Does not have a remote start, but it does have a, it doesn't even start. Oh yeah, gosh, yeah, I forgot all about that. So the things that have been done to this truck for modifications, pretty much zero. He took the 5-inch off of my 04, which is now back on my 04. He put that on here because he thought he was going to be cool for a little while. He just went 5-inch straight. So he went, he just had the 5-inch straight pipe turbo back on here, and then we didn't put any tunes on it because it's the original transmission on the truck with, well, we don't have any batteries, so I don't know how many miles are on it exactly, but it's got like 240, 250 on a stock transmission, original stock transmission. So we didn't put any tunes on it until he was going to call Randy or Muldoon's or something. But hey, we never even got that far. So
We got far. We got a light bar.
oh yeah, he's got a light bar, which doesn't work. That's the second light bar that he's had on there.
It's having issues.
Yeah.
I think it's something with that brand.
This truck's got cancer on it, and we blame it all on the fact that he ran an Edge Evolution on here. Yes, I think it screwed the whole thing up. Just to see what kind of
Fuel pressure.
yeah, what kind of fuel pressure and BS pressure. So
Damn Edge.
yeah, let's go look at your 12 valve now that we talked about this piece of crap for so long.
It's a little dirty too.
They're gonna know your story, bud. Come on.
This story's better than that story.
All right, so when I talk about the trucks that I've owned, this is actually one of the trucks I've owned. I bought this truck off of a guy down in the valley, an old cowboy, and it had a bad turbo on it when I bought it, and I fixed several other things, and he bought it off of me.
Yeah.
And it looked all white back then, but
I got the video of taking the bed off. If you ever want to use
oh, maybe I got the video of the engine too.
it. Oh, there you go.
This might be for another video though. I don't know, because this is actually a pretty good story.
Yeah, I guess we could just show it and
We'll see.
we'll tell them the story later in the next episode.
Okay, in a lump sum, this thing has new injectors in it, new computer, new CP3. We changed the injector wiring harness, checked all the wires to make sure nothing was frayed or cracked or broken, grounding out, shorting out, whatever, and it's still running high rail pressure. All the sensors have been changed. I don't know what else to do to it. He would like to, you know, move on past this truck and get it fixed or just sell it, depending on if he can get enough money out of it selling as is. But I would like to know from you guys if you've had this experience and what to do about making a puppy. Be quiet. Shh, stop it. And I want to know what you guys have done if you ran into this and what to do to fix it. Again, high rail pressure, and it sounds like a mean knock on it, but we pulled off the banjo bolt and the return line, and that was the only thing that seemed to help. So I'm thinking, would there be a clog inside? But why is it causing it to spike high fuel rail pressure from the start? Because as far as I know, the pressure regulator on the CP3 governs the amount of pressure applied to the rail depending on RPM and such like that. I might be wrong, let me know. But I appreciate all info. Thank you guys very much for watching, and let me know what you think. Thanks again. Please hit thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. We're gonna get this 12 valve started. Thanks guys, bye.